Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Fluento, Everyday English for Real Life. I'm Anna, and I'm really happy you're here today.
And I'm David. Thanks for spending some time with us, wherever you're listening from. On a walk, in your car, at home, we're glad you're here.
Today's episode is a special one. We're talking about something many of you think about a lot: how to learn English in 2026, and what a good study plan for beginners really looks like now.
Yeah, and when we say beginners, we don't just mean people who know zero English. We mean people who maybe know the basics but feel stuck. Like you understand some English, but speaking feels hard, listening feels fast, and confidence is the biggest problem.
Exactly. And we want this to feel like a real conversation, not a lecture. So imagine you're sitting with us, maybe with a cup of coffee or tea, and we're just talking about learning English, honestly.
Anna, can I start with a question?
Of course.
Do you remember how you learned a language yourself? Like, not as a teacher, but as a learner.
I do, very clearly, actually. I learned Spanish in my 20s, and I remember feeling small. That's the word. Small and shy. I could read, I could write a little, but when I opened my mouth, my mind went blank.
That feeling is so common.
Yes, and I remember thinking, I'm an adult, I should be good at this. But language doesn't work that way. Learning a language is emotional, it's personal.
I had a similar experience with French. I studied it in school for years, grammar, vocabulary, tests, but when I went to France for the first time, I froze. Someone asked me a simple question, "Ça va?" and I panicked.
Because real life is different from textbooks.
Exactly, and that's why learning English in 2026 looks different than it did 10 or 20 years ago.
Yes, there's more access now, more podcasts, videos, conversations, real voices. But there's also more confusion. People ask, what should I study? How much? Every day? What's the best app? The best method?
And sometimes they end up doing too much and then quitting.
That's such an important point. Learning English is not about doing everything. It's about doing the right things, consistently.
Let's talk about that word for a moment, consistently. For our listeners, it means doing something regularly, not perfectly, not for hours, just regularly.
Yes, consistency beats intensity. I'd rather someone listen to English for 15 minutes every day than study for 3 hours once a week.
And in 2026, listening is more important than ever.
Absolutely. English is spoken all around us now, online, in media, at work, in travel. Listening trains your ear. It helps your brain feel the rhythm of the language.
That rhythm is important. English has a kind of music to it.
It does, and beginners often focus only on words. But English isn't just words, it's stress, intonation, emotion.
Let me give a small example. The sentence, "you're coming." If I say it flat, "you're coming," it sounds like a fact. But if I say, "you're coming," with a rising tone, it's a question. Same words, different meaning.
That's such a good example. And learners often understand the words but miss the feeling.
Which brings us to something important about study plans. A good study plan includes your ears, not just your eyes.
Yes, listening to real English spoken naturally is essential. That's why podcasts like this exist. You're hearing pauses, laughter, thinking sounds, real language.
Can I tell a small story?
Please do.
I once met a student. Her name was Maria. She told me she studied English for 10 years. 10 years! But she was afraid to speak. She said, "I know English, but English doesn't know me."
Oh, that's powerful.
Right? What she meant was the language was in her head, but not in her body, not in her voice.
And that's something many learners feel. So if you're listening and thinking, that's me, you're not alone.
Not at all.
So when we talk about learning English in 2026, we're really talking about connection, connecting sounds to meaning, meaning to emotion, emotion to confidence.
Confidence is huge. And confidence doesn't come from knowing everything. It comes from being okay with mistakes.
Yes, mistakes are not a problem. Silence is a bigger problem.
That's such a good sentence. For our listeners, silence is a bigger problem. It means not speaking at all stops learning.
Exactly. And in many cultures, people are afraid of making mistakes. They want to be correct.
But English-speaking cultures often value communication over perfection.
Very true. If you say, yesterday I go to store, we understand you. We don't think you're stupid. We think, oh, English isn't your first language. And that's okay.
And honestly, native speakers make mistakes too.
All the time.
All the time. We forget words, we change sentences in the middle, we say you know.
Those little sounds are part of real English, and beginners often think they shouldn't use them.
But they should. They help you sound natural. Saying gives you time to think.
Let's pause for a moment and talk directly to the listener.
Okay.
I want you to know something. If you're learning English right now in 2026, I want you to know something. You don't need a perfect plan. You need a human plan.
A plan that fits your life.
Yes, your job, your family, your energy.
Some people study at night, some in the morning, some on the bus.
There's no best time, there's only your time.
Anna, what do you think beginners should focus on first?
I think they should focus on understanding and being understood. That sounds simple, but it changes everything.
Can you explain that?
Sure. Instead of asking, is my grammar perfect, ask, did the other person understand me? If yes, that's success.
That mindset removes so much pressure.
It does, and it makes learning joyful again.
Joy is underrated in language learning.
Yes, if learning feels like punishment, it won't last.
In 2026, we talk a lot about motivation, but motivation comes and goes.
Consistency stays.
There's that word again.
Because it matters. Small daily contact with English builds trust between you and the language.
Trust. I like that.
You start to trust that you can understand, that you can speak, that you can survive a conversation.
Let's talk about speaking, because many listeners want to speak better.
Yes, speaking is the big goal for most people.
But it's also the scariest part.
It is, and one mistake beginners make is waiting until they feel ready.
Which never happens.
Exactly. You don't wake up one day and think, now I'm ready to speak English perfectly.
You become ready by speaking.
Yes, even simple sentences. I like this. I don't understand. Can you repeat?
Those phrases are powerful.
They are, and they're polite, natural, and useful in real life.
In English-speaking cultures, asking someone to repeat is normal.
Very normal. Saying, sorry, can you say that again, is not rude.
It's actually respectful.
Yes, because it shows you want to understand.
Another cultural note, English conversations are often interactive. People interrupt politely, ask questions, react.
That's true. Silence can feel uncomfortable.
So saying things like, oh, really, or I see, or that makes sense, helps the conversation flow.
Those are called reaction phrases. They don't add information, but they add connection.
And they're great for beginners because they're short.
Yes, short and powerful.
Anna, can we talk about technology for a moment?
Of course.
In 2026, there are so many tools, apps, AI, videos, voice practice. It's amazing, but also overwhelming.
It is. And here's my honest opinion. Tools don't learn for you. You learn.
Tools are helpers, not teachers.
Exactly. A good study plan uses tools intentionally, not randomly.
Meaning not downloading 10 apps and using none of them.
Yes, choose one or two and use them well.
And combine them with real input, real voices, real stories.
That's why listening to podcasts, shows, or conversations is so valuable.
Even if you don't understand everything.
Especially if you don't understand everything.
That surprises people.
Yes, but your brain learns from context. You catch words, feelings, patterns.
Like children do.
Exactly. Children don't stop and say, I don't understand this grammar. They listen.
And they repeat.
Repeating is powerful. Saying phrases out loud, even alone, builds muscle memory.
Your mouth needs practice, not just your brain.
Yes, English sounds can feel strange at first.
like th.
Ah, yes, the famous TH.
Many learners avoid it.
But it's okay to practice slowly. Put your tongue between your teeth. It feels silly, but it works.
And being silly is part of learning.
I always tell my students, if you're not embarrassed sometimes, you're not trying enough.
That's comforting.
Good. Learning should feel safe.
Let's shift a little and talk about goals.
Okay.
Many beginners say, I want to be fluent.
Yes, that word, fluent, is tricky.
What does it mean, really?
To me, fluency means you can express yourself without fear, not without mistakes, without fear.
That's a beautiful definition.
Thank you. Fluency is emotional, not grammatical.
So in 2026, a good study plan includes emotional care,
Yes, being kind to yourself, celebrating small wins.
like understanding a joke or ordering coffee in English.
Those moments matter.
I still remember the first joke I understood in French. I felt included.
That's the word, included.
Language gives you access to people, cultures, ideas.
And that's why it's worth the effort.
Before we start wrapping up, Anna, what would you say to someone who feels tired, burned out?
I would say rest is part of learning. You don't need to quit. You can slow down.
That's important.
Yes, learning English is not a race. It's a relationship
And relationships grow over time.
with patience.
So if you're listening right now and feeling discouraged, take a breath.
You're doing better than you think, and the fact that you're listening to this, that counts.
It really does. Anna, any final thoughts?
Just this. English is not something you need to conquer. It's something you can slowly invite into your life.
I love that image.
Invite it through stories, conversations, music, podcasts, small daily moments.
And if you can, share your story, even in simple English.
Yes, tell someone where you're from, what you like, what you're learning.
Your English doesn't need to be perfect to be meaningful.
It just needs to be yours.
Thank you for being with us today on Fluentto, everyday English for real life.
We're so glad you listened. Keep practicing, keep listening, and be kind to yourself.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye for now.